Some say Chinese is one of the most difficult languages in the world, and learning it is almost impossible.
So learning Chinese, the most difficult thing.
非常非常非常非常非常难
So I'm sort of tone deaf. I can't really hear them.
I think the cultural mindset is the biggest complication for
The
us.
grammar.
知吃思诗都很难
It's just complicated so much.
Only because you're not learning it in the right way. Why not try Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Mr. Tony Reed in the studio. Hi, Tony.
Niuniu, what is going on?
Well, everything's going on. I feel very lively and happy since, everything's going on. What's going on with you? How's your weekend?
Weekend was pretty awesome. I actually took advantage of both days off. I think most people were working on Sunday.
I had only one day off.
Yeah, so I had my Sunday off, so I just kind of kicked my feet up and worked on some other things, but it was just nice to just relax.
Even though I only had one day off, I still had a blast because I did some shopping. I know it sounds, a little bit fall into the gender stereotype, girls go shopping, but actually
say no more.
It made me happy.
Of course it did.
Nowadays, it's like you don't really have to go out there and browse and walk and just go.
Yeah, waste time window
in the
shopping.
Mall. I cannot do that. It's not my thing.
Yeah, you and I can hang out because I'm kind of the same shopper.
I say 我不喜欢逛街。
不喜欢逛街。
逛街。
Oh, 逛街.
Yes, 逛街 means that you're walking, you're browsing. 街 is the streets. And 逛 means that you're not only walking on it, you're also, walk around and browse and check things out. So 逛街 can also be translated as go shopping.
Window shopping.
Well, yeah, but not only window shopping.
You're not buying anything, right?
You can buy things when you're 逛街, of course.
Okay, all right.
Okay, the idea is that 逛街 means you walk out on the street and do shopping. 我不喜欢逛街，我喜欢线上购物。
线上
购物。
What is this?
线 means line.
Yeah.
上 is on. So 线上 online. 购物购买purchase. And 物 means stuff or goods. So 线上購物 means purchase stuff online.
Okay.
Go shopping online. 我喜欢线上购物。
Well, yeah.
How about you?
For me, I like to go out and try stuff on because my body is a bit different. Like I can't fit
because
most
you're
things.
Very tall and handsome.
Well, my body just doesn't slide into some of the shirts that are on display. So I have to go in and try them on. And so, but yeah, I don't spend a lot of time in malls because I'm pretty loyal to the brands that I buy. I just kind of keep going to the same place. So it shaves off all of that. What is it? 逛街.
逛街.
Yeah.
Yeah. 那你的品牌忠诚度很高。
品牌? That sounds negative. What does that mean?
It's not negative. It's a noun. It's a really proper neutral noun. 品 carries the meaning of 商品 goods, whereas 牌 is a brand.
Okay.
牌子. So 品牌 is an official way of saying brand. And we say 品牌忠诚度. 忠诚 is loyal, whereas 度 is degree.
Okay.
高 means high. When I say 你的品牌忠诚度很高, I mean that you have a high degree of loyalty to certain brands.
对的.
That's nice. I don't have that.
Go with the flow.
I go with the flow. Unless that brand has really, really, really won my heart. It happens too, but I'm very picky when it comes to brands.
Oh, really?
This can be a fun
Emotional
topic.
shopper.
Emotional shopper, for sure. But I think to recognize a brand and to have a certain image of it and have trust in the brand is something very nice. And we can talk about it for this episode.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
And for our dear listeners, if you're interested in Chinese culture and you want to get to grips with the Chinese language, then this is the show for you. Stick with us for 30 minutes and you soon see the rewards. And for more fun Chinese learning, follow our Facebook page, CRI Learn Chinese, to watch many fun videos and live streams. But now, let's provide you with some free Chinese for takeaway. 你买东西会看牌子吗？会，虽然说只买对的，不买贵的，但我还是对大品牌更放心。的确如此。那你了解中国品牌吗？以前我对中国制造的印象主要是便宜实惠，不过现在我觉得中国的高端品牌越来越多了。
Sounds like two indecisive people trying to size up certain brands.
Yes, and also I think perhaps one of the persons is a expat living in China, since we're talking about the, image of Chinese brands or the impression of Chinese brands. It could be a fun conversation between you and me,
Oh, yes, I would imagine so.
All right, let's take a look at the conversation. For the first sentence, 你买东西会看牌子吗？
This is, do you consider the brand when you buy things? So, 你 is you, 买东西.
Yes.
So this is, buy is 买, and then 东西 is something, right?
Yes, so buy stuff. Purchase, buy stuff, go shopping, 买东西. I think 买东西 is a very colloquial and very vivid way to say go shopping, so buy stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's really useful.
Yes, 买东西.
Easy. Next we have this 会 thing that keeps coming up. Is this then or?
会 here actually means would.
Would
okay. Or will, because it can also mean able to or can do something. But in this sense, it means will. So technically speaking, this sentence would be translated as, will you look at the brand when you buy stuff? So it's saying, would you consider the brand?
Hypothetical, huh?
Yeah, hypothetical. So 会 would be will or would.
And 看 is the look.
Look.
And then 牌子. This is brand, right?
This is brand, and it's a more colloquial way than 品牌.
品牌.
品牌. That's the thing in the Chinese language. I feel like most occasions you have the official word. The official word is mostly two character words.
Yeah.
And you can use them in articles, in official settings. And there's also the rather colloquial, rather casual way of saying things. And you use those things in your daily conversation. Here, 牌子 is a rather colloquial way of saying brand, 牌子.
牌子, 好.
So, 你买东西会看牌子吗？会。虽然说只买对的，不买贵的，但我还是对大品牌更放心。
So here, it's yes. Also, it is said that only buy the right ones, not the expensive ones. So I still feel more at ease with big brands. So here, the 会 here is actually a response to what was asked, right? So it's not would or could. It's here is kind of saying like yes or I will. Right?
I will, yes. That's another thing about answering yes or no questions in Chinese. I hear some Chinese teachers say to their foreign students that, in the Chinese language, we do not really have the word yes. That's not the case. Actually, 是 would be a yes, 对 would be a yes. But I think they're saying that because when you're answering a yes or no questions, you don't really, like in English, directly say yes. You would answer with the verb in the sentence. So here, 你会看牌子吗? Would you check out the brand? And the answer is 会. I will. And sometimes if you say 你吃饭了吗? Did you eat?
吃了.
Exactly. Instead of saying yes, I did, you say I ate. So 吃了. So you answer the question with the verb in the question.
You can't say 是, huh?
You don't, well, people understand if you say 是, but it shows, people would think that, that foreigner.
Yeah. You can't say 不 either, right?
Sometimes you say 不, sometimes you say 没有, haven't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's answering yes or no questions in Chinese. So here, 会 means yes, I will.
And then next up, it's 虽然说. So 虽然 is although.
Although.
And then 说 is say.
Say.
Right? So although it's said.
Although it's said or although people say.
And then it's 只买对的不买贵的.
Oh, that's really good. You pronounced it really well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, quite well.
Okay, awesome. And that means only buy the right one. So 只买, so 买 is buy. 对 is right.
Right.
Right. And then 只 must mean only.
Only.
Yeah. And then 不买, don't buy. And then 贵 is expensive.
Yes.
And then 的, so 的 implies that something is expensive. Yeah.
Yes. So you use 的 after a adjective to make it the things that the adjective is describing. So 对的 would mean the right stuff. 贵的 the expensive stuff. So with the 的 that serves that function. And 只买对的不买贵的, I feel like it's a set phrase in Chinese. It's not classical or with a huge, background story like the idioms or the other set phrases in Chinese.
Yeah.
But it's said very often so that people have this memory of the saying in their mind a lot. This actually means the expensive ones are not always exactly the good ones or the right ones for you.
Well said.
Yeah, thank you. 只买对的不买贵的.
And next we have 但我还是. 但 here means but, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then was I 还是, so 还是 here
is still.
Is still. Okay.
I still. And
Got
here you might have already noticed that in this sentence we say 虽然 something something.
Although.
但 but something something. That's a thing. In English, you don't put although and but in one sentence ever. In Chinese, you kind of always put them in one sentence. Sometimes you can omit one, yeah, but technically speaking, if we are pursuing 100% grammatically correct sentences, we always put 虽然但是 or 虽然但, so although and but in one sentence.
Okay.
That's the structure. And continue with 对大品牌更放心.
对的品牌. So 对 is 对
Towards.
的 means right or
对的 means right. And here 对 is towards or to. It suggests the direction.
Okay. So then we have 大品牌.
Yep.
So this is like big brands,
Big
right?
brands, yes.
And then 更 coming up after it. That means like it's like the comparative here, the adjective,
it's
right? So it would
greater,
be
bigger, larger, longer, whatever. It's just the ER. It's a putting in front of the adjective ER in the Chinese language. So you say...
It's interesting.
Yeah, you say...
The placement of the adjective. I mean, I guess it would be easier if it was next to like 更大, right?
Yeah, but here 更放心 is more at ease or more assured. 放心. 放心 is a good word because 放 means to place and 心 is heart.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're putting your heart into the right place or if you're putting your heart back into your chest, it means that you're at ease, right?
Wow. Okay, yeah. Taking your heart out and putting it places. All right.
放心 would be assured or at ease. So I'm more comfortable with major brands, basically. And then 的确如此. 那你了解中国品牌吗?
That's true. Do you know anything about Chinese brands? So, 的确, right?
Yes.
So this one is like an agreement, like indeed or...
Indeed, yeah.
Okay. And then 如此.
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 Perfect. 如此.
So this is
like that.
like that.
Yeah, so 如 is like, 此 is, well, 此 is actually this. So it's indeed like this. So you're really, really agreeing with the other person.
Oh, so it's either one or the other, or do you have to say both?
You often say both. You can say 的确 yes,
的确,
but
right.
如此 is always like this, so you can't really say 如此 only. So 如此 it's like this. It doesn't really make sense if you only say 如此, but you can omit 如此 and just say 的确.
Can we say 差不多?
差不多is
depends on the
context.
The
I don't think in this context it works because 差不多 is more or less, right? But here you're trying to agree with the other person really hard. You're using two words to agree with that person. So 的确 indeed 如此 like this. So it's indeed what you said. It's really true. I agree with you.
Okay. And then we have 那 你了解.
Yep.
So I think 那 here is like then, right? And then 你 is you.
Yep.
And then 了解, this one is like to understand something?
Yes, 了解 would be understand something, know something.
Familiar with something.
Familiar
right?
with something.
And
it's like saying when you're saying 我认识这个人. I know this person.
Yeah.
It's I know this person. And if you say 我了解这个人, it's like I have a deeper understanding towards this person. I know something more about this person. I understand him, or I am familiar with him. I have more information on him. So here, when you say 了解中国品牌, it's, of course, we can translate it as understand or have knowledge about Chinese brands. 中国品牌 Chinese brands.
Chinese brands.
It's more like saying, do you have a comparatively further understanding towards Chinese
Do you have any
brand?
exposure to it?
Yeah.
Right.
And then we have a really long sentence here. 以前我对中国制造的印象主要是便宜实惠，不过现在我觉得中国的高端品牌越来越多了。
Okay, so this is in the past. My impression of made in China was mainly that they were cheap and affordable, but now I think there are more and more high-end brands in China.
It looks long, but if we separate them or break them in words, it's not that complicated. Let's try.
All right, let's give it a shot. So 以前, this is I guess this would suffice for in the past
In the
or
past,
before.
Yes, perfectly.
我对
Towards.
So 对 is in this case is towards, right? 中国 China 制造. This is to make something or manufacture.
Yes, 制造 again is a rather official way of saying make or manufacture. And 中国制造 is a set phrase, made in China. 中国制造.
Okay, 中国制造 made in China. The, so something made in China. 印象.
印象.
So this is like an impression.
Impression, 印象.
All right.
You can say 你对我的印象怎么样? What's your impression on me?
怎么样?
Yeah,
okay.
印象.
And then 主要.
主要.
So 主要 is primary or main?
Yes, primarily, mainly, overall, most, something like that.
Okay. 是
Is
便宜实惠.
便宜实惠.
So this is like affordable and cheap, right?
Yes, 便宜 is cheap. So 便宜 sometimes there is another saying 便宜没好货. It says that a bargain can never be good. Something cheap is never good. 便宜
can never be good.
便宜 is cheap. 没 have not. 好 good. 货物 goods. So cheap is always bad. But it's like we say, there are different sayings. People believe in different things. It's not always the case. But 便宜 actually means cheap. Inexpensive. And 实惠is affordable, and also 实惠 carries the meaning that this is both inexpensive and quality. So we say 质优价廉. So 质 is 品质, the quality. 优 good. 价格 price. 廉低廉 low. So good stuff with low price. 实惠. So 实惠 I would say is a positive word, whereas 便宜 is a neutral word.
Okay.
So 便宜实惠 cheap and affordable.
All right, so 不过 here is but.
But 不过
Yeah, another but. Yeah.
Another but. Well, the thing is, 但是 is more like a hard but, whereas 不过 is a rather soft one. So it's like
a conjunction.
Yeah. So I feel like 但是 is like you are making a V turn in the sentence, whereas 不过 is you're making a U turn. It's more,
Okay, a little more subtle, huh?
a little more subtle.
Okay.
不过
So 不過现在 is now. 我觉得 I think.
Or I feel, of course.
I feel. 中国的高端 I end. 中国的高端 This is Chinese high-end 品牌 brands.
Yes.
越来越 So this is getting better and better. 多了 So more. Right?
Yes, more and more. 高端 is, I would say, an easy word because 高 is high and 端 is end, literally. Put together high-end product. 高端品牌 high-end brand. 越来越多 more and more. So 越来越 is a phrase that we're quite familiar with. We say 越来越好 better and better. 越来越大 bigger and bigger. Yeah, and 越来越多 more and more. Yes, so that's the conversation. Here we have 便宜实惠 as a expression that means cheap and affordable and good product. So high cost effective. And we also have 高端品牌, that's high-end brand. I think we can use these expressions to talk about stuff, talk about, the market.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any other questions?
Not really. As long as you handle the long sentences, I think I'll be good.
Okay, let's try the conversation. And you are going to be the one who said the long sentence.
Really?
Yeah, because, it's a conversation between me, a Chinese resident, local, and also a expat like you, right? Okay, let me ask. 你买东西会看牌子吗？
会，虽然说只买对的不买贵的，但我还是对的品牌更放心。
的确如此。那你了解中国品牌吗？
以前我对中国制造的印象主要是便宜实惠，不过现在我觉得中国的高端品牌越来越多了。
Perfect! You handled it quite well. Practice does make perfect.
Hey.
You're listening to Takeaway Chinese with myself, Niuniu and Tony. We would love to hear from you. Send us your thoughts via email to learnchinese@cri.com.cn. Coming up next, let's talk more about the Chinese brands and our impressions on Made in China. Don't go away, so you will take some Chinese away. Welcome back to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin, joined by Tony. So Tony, what is your impression on Made in China? 你对中国制造是什么印象啊？ Because you've been here quite long and you buy things in China and you compare different brands. I'm just curious.
Well, I'm really loyal to brands, and I think that's a bit difficult for the Chinese market because I'm a stubborn consumer. I've always...
You're a loyal consumer. I like that. Remember, 品牌忠诚度.
Yes, 品牌忠诚度
很高. Very high, yes.
So I stick with a lot of brands. For example, like shoes. I wear Timberland. I'm not sure if you've heard of this brand, but it's a really popular shoe brand. But in general, I think that a lot of the quality of the products are good. They're usable. I'm not really picky when it comes to these kinds of things, as long as it works really well. And I think it depends on the nature of the product too. For example, like cars. And again, it has something to do with my loyalty, since I've always bought Nissan or something like that. I would always buy, and so I think it depends on the kind of customer you are.
Yeah, I agree with you. And also I think when it comes to brands, 品牌, the thing is, one, you have had a very successful purchase about a certain product in a certain brand. You've got this really nice image.
Right.
You've got this impression on this product, on this brand. And that is what many brands are looking for. They try really hard working on their brand image. We say 品牌形象.品牌形象. Yes, that's the image or the impression people have over it. And they hope that after the endless effort of their pursuing the right product, of them putting in a lot of thinking, a lot of, high tech into their brands, into their product, people would have a better impression on it. And recently I learned that there is a China Brand Day.
On May
another
holiday.
10th.
Okay.
Yes, every year. And that day is to, let's say, remind major companies of the importance of making their brand positive in people's mind, making sure that they have a brand, have a reputation to protect. In Chinese, we say 爱惜羽毛.
Ai means love, right?
Yes, and 爱惜 means cherish. 羽毛 is feather. So when we say you need to cherish your feather, you're actually saying you need to protect your reputation. You need to make sure you don't make mistakes. You don't lose even one feather.
Because we're birds, right?
Because we're birds. So, 爱惜羽毛 means don't make mistakes. Don't leave a stain on the image of your brand. And I think that is a pretty solid idea when you're doing, brand building.
It's very ideal, but yes, it's very, something that all companies should strive for.
Yeah, so here, let me introduce to you a interesting Chinese expression. We say 金字招牌.
金字招牌.
金 means gold. 字 is character. 字 character.
金字
Yes, 金字招牌.
招
牌.
牌.
Yes, 招牌 is also the brand, but it's more like the billboard, the board you have, or the plaque you have hanging over a shop's, in front of a shop.
Like a billboard, yeah.
A billboard. So, 招牌. So, in the Chinese language, 金字招牌 means a billboard written in golden characters. But it's not talking about the golden characters. It's saying that when your brand is so solid, it's so great, everyone believes in you, trusts your goods as long as it's your brand, you're basically having a 金字招牌. That brand itself sells.
Okay. So the name just sells in itself.
The name sells. I think it's a nice expression. And of course, in the Chinese market, there are 老字号.
老字号.
Yeah, 老字号 means the old traditional brands in China. There are 稻香村, not really sure you've heard of it. It's a brand for snacks and for pastries.
Oh.
And there are also 新潮牌.
Xin means new?
New. 潮 means fashionable. 牌 we know is 牌子 brand.
Yeah.
So there are also some 新潮牌, new fashionable brands, and also we say 新国货, new domestic brands, domestic goods. So these are all the efforts people make to, make a name of themselves.
Remember us, spend your money with us.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so 品牌效应 is still something I would say,
brand awareness. It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. It's very important. And as long as we 爱惜羽毛, make no mistakes, make sure the quality of the goods are well, after probably a rather long period of time, people will have the trust in the brands.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Here's hoping. And all the best luck to all the brands out there trying to make a name for themselves. After all, if they're doing a good job, we as customers would benefit as well.
Sure, absolutely.
And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niuniu with Tony here in the studio. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at chinaplus.cri.cn and go to the column Podcast.
There are also many podcast platforms where you can find us, and that's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Stitcher. In case you'd like to listen to some previous shows and leave your thoughts, comments, and ratings.
感谢收听，我们下次再见。
再见。